Journalist, writer, and musical artist Dr. Francis Ate, alias Ate Bazor, beats 3 other contenders in an elective General Assembly to become the new board chair of SONACAM. Council members from political parties occupy 70 seats in the new regional councils in each region and the 20 other seats to representatives of traditional rulers. In this regard, the CPDM has the lion's share. Plus, our ancestors have informed those yet living to ensure that they transmit moral and traditional values to the younger generation before they cross the bar. Good evening and welcome to the 7:30 News. I am Benen Bumagana coming to you live from Studio 5 of the CRTV.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
Once again, welcome the newly elected board chair of the Cameroon Musical Arts Corporation, SONACAM, Ate Francis, alias Ate Bazor, and his team have been installed into their functions with a call to unite and change the face of the organ. The musician, journalist, and writer, Dr. Ate Francis, beat 3 other contenders in a highly attended elective General Assembly and will have to work hard in the next 5 years to bring an end to the problems of auto rights management in the sector. Emmanuel Avenue sat through the 12-hour-long General Assembly and our reports.
An outburst of rejoicing as the Musical Arts Corporation SONACAM gets a new board chair. It took the about 1,000 electorates 12 hours to choose their new leader. Ate Francis outsmart Jean-Pierre Sommet, Messi Ambroise and Waxday to clinch the position with 254 votes.
I am extremely happy. Artists of Cameroon have sent a strong message to the entire nation and especially to my region of origin. This victory is an indication that we have a place here. And I want to dedicate this victory to them because without peace, we can't go ahead. So I want to thank the artists. I will never be happy until I push poverty out of the milieu.
The electoral process conducted by officials of the elections management body ELECAM also saw the voting of 4 presidents of the Supervisory, Control, Surveillance and Ethics Committee, all for a mandate of 5 years.
Your full engagement during the sessions proved beyond thoughts your patriotism, maturity, and sense of responsibility.
The new team has been tasked to transform the past frustrations of artists into a future that smiles, where payment of authors' rights is regular and in a transparent manner so that musicians in Cameroon, both young and old, can live on their art.
Congratulations to you, Ate Bazor. According to the law fixing the number of regional councillors per division and per category, a total of 90 regional council members will sit in each region, 70 from political parties and 20 representatives from traditional rulers. From the results proclaimed by the respective Regional Supervising Commission, the CPDM party scored a landslide victory, winning a majority of seats in 9 of the 10 regions. Here is Constantine Baum with a clear mapping of the results.
14 political parties took part in the country's first ever regional elections, but only 4 political parties succeeded to win. All 70 seats in the littoral, the northwest, southwest, the south, east and center regions were picked by the ruling CPDM. In the North region, the battle was between the CPDM, the NUDP and the National Salvation Front of Cameroon. The CPDM backed 56 seats, the NUDP 12, while FSNC had 2. In the far north, the race was between the CPDM and NUDP, 58 seats for the CPDM, with NUDP succeeding to pull 12 seats out of the 70. In the west region, the Cameroon Democratic Union, The CDU had 17 against 53 for the CPDM. It was in the Adamawa region where the NUDP won with 56 seats, with the ruling CPDM succeeding with only 14 seats. Out of the 700 regional seats fixed by decree number 2020/526 of 2nd September 2020, the CPDM is having a total of 613 seats, the NUDP 68, the CDU 17, and FSNC with 2.
The Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, has relaunched her political activities with the holding of a national executive meeting in Yaoundé on Saturday, presided over by the chairman of the party, Ni John Frundi. The executive meeting made an evaluation of the last municipal, legislative and regional elections. Ibneza Akanga attended the meeting and now reports.
The delegation of supporters of the Social Democratic Front, SDF, from the West region paid the visit to the chairman of the party in Yaoundé to welcome him back home, thank God for healing mercies, and get advice from him. Presenting the situation of the party in the region, the president of the SDF for the West, Florent Changop, regretted that the party won only the Bafoussam 1 council in the last municipal elections, attributing the poor performance to internal wranglings, among others. While sincerely thanking them for the visit, the chairman of the SDF, Ni John Frundi, urged them to unite and give a new leap forward to the party.
I want to guarantee and assure Cameroonians that the SDF will bounce back stronger than it's ever been before, because we are going through a young generation of youths who are coming to the field very determined.
The wish was expressed at the meeting that the party be revamped during the upcoming National Executive Committee meeting, NEC.
Over in the Northwest region, the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Cameroun, has remarked that military action in Menchum has curbed separatist activities in the division and allowed for a massive return of school children to the classrooms. The general was galvanizing the troops in Furuawa, also donated food items and didactic material to some schools in the area. Details with Eric Langmia Wofo.
Schools in Furuawa and Fungom in Menchum Division have witnessed an increase in the number of students this academic year. There is said to be the gradual return to normalcy in the border areas to Nigeria. Defense forces have successfully halted separatist activities in Fungom and Furuawa. The commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Cameroun, has offered food items, cartons of soup and didactic materials to the population and some schools in Furuawa and East villages.
Since we started school, most children lack books and other essential school materials. So this one that has been handed to the inspectorate to share to the schools by the general. I hope that they will make maximum use of it. And this is going to encourage other parents who have not sent their children to school because of this crisis to send their children to school next year.
Any amber around here who is afraid, let him come out. Lay down the weapon. You take him to the DDR center in Bamenda. Nobody will kill you.
The defense forces have also repaired a bridge linking Iso to the rest of Menchum Division. The bridge is said to have been destroyed by separatist fighters. The defense forces are also carrying out a free health campaign in Iso, in Fungom subdivision.
Cameroon's ambassador to the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Her Excellency Lingumu Ondua Madeleine, has presented her letters of credence to King William Alexander of the Netherlands at The Hague. Her Excellency Lingumu Ondua Madeleine was recently appointed by presidential decree to serve the country in that capacity after years spent in Bern in Switzerland. Let's get the details and pictures by Charles Ebune.
A fair entrepreneurship with a balanced gender frame remains a headache to many communities around the world, Cameroon included.
We realize that in the world today, women do not have access to decision-making positions and leadership positions, and so we decided to come here to impart the students here present with this knowledge and skills.
The Welisane Foundation seeks, among other things, to blueprint a society sensitive to gender for a sustained development model.
The fact that we grew up in a system where we're told what to do, growing up to become a lawyer or a banker or to be a diplomat. It doesn't mean that's the end.
To be an entrepreneur tomorrow, first of all, you have to have confidence in yourself. Secondly, you have to be able to take risk.
At the International Relations Institute for Cameroon, the students, assisted by experts on gender issues, were drilled on how best they can use their resources, especially knowledge on how to mainstream gender for the development of Cameroon.
Thank you very much. We are definitely going to be getting a report on the Cameroonian ambassador who is handing over her letter to credence. That was rather the work of the Welisani Foundation at Afrique. Now let's go back to Douala to record other lessons learned when TV's Director General Charles Ndongo granted a conference at the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea in Douala. He addressed pertinent issues that are hope to the youths and spurred them to turn their backs from those that discourage and destroy and focus on making bold action to be on the right side of history. Afonso Abongwa captured key moments of the conference and now presents some of the lessons learned.
They are not only active at listening. Amongst the young people who turned out to listen to Charles Ndongo speak are those who have developed a critical mindset and question the essence of things. For instance, the GM's conference centered on Afro-pessimism and the necessity for youth to capitalize on the positive use of technology to give Africa a new face. But most of these youth who took to the microphone questioned the GM on worrying issues like the role played by Africa's leadership in the underdevelopment of the continent. Other questions that showed open-mindedness of participants centered around how the use of artificial intelligence can successfully lead to development on a continent with a low internet penetration rate like Africa. Charles Ndongo was meticulous in capturing these key moments, and when he needed some backup information, he called on his close collaborators who constituted his delegation. He said this is proof that the continent is on the appropriate lane in the school of life, and so its youths must be trusted.
The Sawa elders henceforth have the responsibility to transmit moral and traditional values to the younger generations. This is the message of the ancestors of the Sawa land communicated at the end of this year's Ngondo Festival, presided over by His Majesty Jean-Yves Mbumbu Douala Mangabel. The ceremony at the banks of the Wuri River was closed to the public. Larry's Nani Epote was one of the few witnesses at the event and reports from Douala.
Ngondo 2020 has finally come and gone, but in a special context as the population was exempted from participating due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But this didn't stop the chiefs from communicating with their ancestors on the way forward. After a series of incantations and communication with the ancestors at the banks of the Wuri River, the transmission of moral and traditional values to the younger generation was the message unveiled by His Majesty Jean-Yves Douala Mangabel, President of the Ngondo, as message from the gods. Tribute was paid to late King Dindika Akwa, paramount chief of the Akwa clan, who passed away a few days ahead of the Ngondo festival. The sons and daughters of the Sawa land are now looking up to their elders to pass down the knowledge and rich cultural heritage as instructed by their ancestors.
Christmas preparations are gradually gaining steam in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, with shops displaying a variety of decorations for the festive season. Our reporter Alice Mbe says more and more city dwellers have begun shopping for family and loved ones. Let's follow her report.
Sounds of merrymaking announcing Christmas around the corners, beautifully decorated shops with Christmas trees and flowers to attract customers. I have come to check if I can see some good toys for the children and cypress tree to decorate my home for Christmas. Melodies of holiness with messages of rebirth, peace, love and reconciliation characterizes the atmosphere in shops. The counters are full and we are still stocking them. We have toys for the children, decorations for Christmas trees as such. We have also reduced the prices of goods. A few days to celebrate the 25th of December, shop owners are stocking their shops with toys and dresses for children of different sizes and models to satisfy customers.
The first ever city mayor of the town of Crtv, Guy Emmanuel Sabikanda, and his deputies elected during the last February twin polls in Cameroon have officially taken command. The installation ceremony, which took place in Crtv, was presided at by the SDO of the Ocean Division, Antoine Bissaga, in the presence of South Region's Governor Felix Ngelengele and that of the Littoral Region, Samuel Dieudonné Ivaha. Polycarp Atier reports.
9 months at the helms of the Crtv City Council after being elected during the twin polls in Cameroon, Guy Emmanuel Sabikanda and his deputies Magdalene Ekiteke Njunga Solange and Agate Lobindami today officially took command. The Crtv City Council's executive were installed by the senior divisional officer of the Ocean Division, Antoine Bissaga, who used the occasion to call on them to make Crtv the most beautiful town in Cameroon.
To build Crtv in the level of a very, very great town in Cameroon, and to transform this city as a city of living together.
Prior to his election at the head of the Crtv City Council, the 65-year-old mayor served as the mayor of Crtv 2 Council.
I want Crtv to be cleanest town in the Cameroon, the best town where we can live together.
The mayor and his deputies have the eyes of the population of the oceanside city of Crtv on them.
Students and pupils have been exhorted to put their faith in Christ Jesus for their success in the current academic year. This was the key message of a pontifical mass officiated by the Yaoundé Metropolitan Archbishop, His Grace Jean Barga, in honor of an effective school resumption marked by COVID-19 threats. Romeo Kenyi tells us more.
Obedience and humility at school. Two keywords recommended to these pupils and students for a successful academic year 2020-2021 by the Metropolitan Archbishop of Yaoundé, as the youngsters are encouraged to frequently extend their prayers to God the Father Almighty, Creator of the universe. There is equally strong need to rely hopes in the Sacred Heart of Jesus during hard times.
We want to continue in the spirituality of the prayers because we'll face many difficulties and we need the help of God.
At the Our Lady of Victory Cathedral this Sabbath day, learners and prelates have also prayed for everlasting peace in Cameroon. Devotions for a peaceful repose of the souls of school kids massacred in Kumba lately, plus supplications for an imminent end of the COVID-19 pandemic, have equally been forwarded to God Almighty.
The 46th annual session of the Église Presbyterienne du Centre Synode du Cameroun has ended at the Jongolo Parish here in Yaoundé. The assembly concluded with the installation of the newly elected moderator, Reverend Pastor Jacques Didier Kwa Onana. Details with Karine Sandra Eyike.
His election as the new moderator of the Center Synod of the Église Presbyterienne du Cameroun comes with the responsibility of leading the people in love and peace.
I thank all presbyters, all presbyters who elected me. We started with pacification, peace, with the gospel, with our statute, with the Holy Spirit, and during this year, it is what we are going to do.
The 46th extraordinary session was placed under the banner of pacifism. It was an occasion for Reverend Pastor Jean Blaise Obok to remind believers of their duties as the light of the world and peace bearers.
Everyone have to be a bearer of light of God. No one have to miss this mission. We have to exercise it everywhere we are.
As recommendations for the year 2021, Christians of APC were called upon to open their hearts to the gospel and live as Christ's ambassadors.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
Let's cut into the second canto and talk about the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Health professionals in the southwest region have stepped up the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic as the inhabitants are becoming very reluctant in their strict respect of the different barrier measures. For more on the action of health experts, let's join BrigadeAntiSardinard at the Public Health Emergency Center, CUSP, with his guest, Dr. Joyce Lambi. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Benin Bumagana. We take you to the southwest region of Cameroon and Atop, to the different regions this Sunday evening. And our guest is Dr. Joyce Lambi Epus Tumasang. She's the head of the Health Activities Brigade at the Southwest Regional Delegation for Public Health. Dr. Joyce Lambi, good evening.
Good evening.
Tell us, what are some of the main challenges preoccupying the Southwest Regional Delegation for Public Health in this ongoing fight against COVID-19 presently?
Thank you very much. We have one main challenge, which is the barrier measures. It's a little challenging because people no longer put on their masks, people don't wash their hands as they used to wash before. Or when you see wash hand points, you have either no water or no soap in them. They don't respect social distances and they don't use the hand sanitizers as frequently as they used to. We also have a communication problem. Communication has reduced drastically. So that's the main challenge we're having for now in the Southwest region.
And how much time do you think you will need in order to be able to surmount some of these challenges you do face?
It's a little very difficult to determine the timeline because of the perception and mentalities of people now. Many people's mentalities have changed. Many people believe that there's no COVID. Others think that they are immunized to COVID, and others have thought that it has never existed before. So, but nonetheless, we're trying to reinforce communication and sensitization in schools, communities, and on the local radio stations on how to continue the barrier measures and to emphasize that COVID is not finished, and we're instead waiting for a possible second wave.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joyce Lambi Epus Tumasang, for being our guest this evening. Benin Bumagana made mention of our communication, and we will continue communicating as far as this fight against COVID-19 is concerned. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
Communicating, that's what we're doing. BrigadeAntiSardinard from Camer. Former Indomitable Lions goalkeeper Vincent Onganzi has been enthroned as the new traditional ruler of Mayos in the Mefu and Afamba division of the Central region. Now, His Majesty Vincent Onganzi has the arduous task to be a veritable guardian of the customs and traditions of the people and promote peace. Romeo Kenyu witnessed the ceremony and now reports.
In his traditional regalia, he moves majestically to his throne. The new traditional ruler of Mayos is paid allegiance by a subordinate. Upon installing the 45-year-old to his functions, the divisional officer of Swa Subdivision recommends respect for authority, a propagation of customs to posterity, and most especially a sense of truth in resolving issues amongst the over 2,000 inhabitants of the third-class chiefdom. The ex-keeper of the Indomitable Lions and media consultant is not ignorant of challenges ahead.
The main challenge is insecurity at the moment. And we have realized that the youth is more implicated, and we are looking forward to find some measures.
Vincent Onganzi's crowning comes 8 months after the demise of his father, who ruled Mayos over 56 years. Notables have each resolved to rally behind the new leader for the prosperity of their community.
Long live Her Majesty. Corruption in sub-Saharan Africa's transnational geopolitical, economic and security stakes that fuel organized crime and global threats is the title of a book authored by high-ranking military officer Colonel Emile Joe Bankui. In the book prefaced by the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic, Joseph Beti Asomo, Colonel Bankui explores a delicate domain which is sometimes a tough nut for international organizations to break. BrigadeAntiSardinard reports.
What has ruined the security sector and response heart of the Sahara is corruption. Corruption which has acted like a real blessing to organized crime that goes beyond drug trafficking, illicit sale of fuel and trafficking in human parts. This is what Colonel Emile Joel Bankui, senior officer of the Cameroonian Army for 30 years of service, has established and published in a 167-page book.
Organized crime develops himself when corruption is in the area. I think that solution is global. We cannot fight only ourselves against corruption. States may put themselves together and decided to fight the phenomenon.
To remedy the situation, which is already responsible for different security threats and crises in Africa in general, and in Cameroon in particular, he uses empirically scientific method to call on the multi-dimension approach, validated by the moderator and critics of a book professed by the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of Defense, Joseph Beti Asomo, presented to the public symbolically at the National Museum in Yaoundé.
The CPDM member of the National Assembly for Mayo Sava constituency in the Far North region, Honorable Yakuba Yaya, is no more. The 72-year-old member of the Foreign Affairs Committee died today in Yaoundé after an illness and has been buried. The lawmaker was on his first mandate. Esther Kmer was at his residence today shortly after his death. Here is her report.
A dark Sunday in the Mimboman neighborhood of Yaoundé, where the disease lived for decades, the vacuum left by his demise is visible. Family and friends are in consternation as the 72-year-old Honorable Yakuba Yaya quits the scene.
I remember a good person, a very important personality to Mayo Sava.
He was a big man, a cooperative man. We are very terrified.
The member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the National Assembly is sorely missed by his colleagues.
It's a very sad situation for us. He took me as a child and we're always conversing.
I stand here today to mourn a colleague from whose experience we should have benefited.
The educationist who served as one-time board member of the Cameroon Radio Television Corporation, CRTV, lives with a world of experience.
He was a very stern person, and the name Yakuba Yaya is a household name in basic education.
Buried already at the Swart Cemetery in Yaoundé, his kinsmen will take the grief to his native Meme in the coming days.
Some 950 volunteers who will be serving in different capacities during the January 2021 Shan have begun receiving training in Douala. The training to last 3 days aims at equipping them in the fields of health, reception, ticketing, and especially on controlling barrier measures against COVID-19. The Bepanda Annex Stadium serves as training ground for the exercise. Let's now follow Abel Kevin Jonke, coordinator of the Douala Japoma section, in this excerpt.
This is a great opportunity for we, the coordinators of this competition in the site of Bepanda and Douala, to launch the training. We have to sensitize these young people to do their work in the better way, in the best way, so that at the end, those who will come here in Douala, African brothers who are waited here in the Douala, they should go back with a great impression of our country.
Thank you very much for watching the 7:30 news. We've come to the end of this edition. Ata Badinoma will be here at 8:30 for the news in French. Tomorrow, the legends will be back. Ben Menopofong and Adel Mbala. Keep watching the CRTV. God bless you.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing